Good day, everybody. 22nd of February, 2025. It's about, maybe, it's before 10 o'clock. It's like 9:40 in the morning, and I took a metro to an area. I never really come here that often. I'll show you around. So it's kind of a weird place to get out on a metro is underneath this overpass here. It's called Malodozhnya, in case you want to know. And I've stayed, actually, before in apartments in those buildings over there in the distance. Strange. No, I'm sorry. Oh, that's the other side of the metro. It's way over on the other side. It's a very strange metro. But, you know, it's a lot of walking underground. Not a big deal. But I did a video at one point in time over on this other side over here. There's a brick building, nice brick building. It was in summertime. I don't even remember. Maybe it was a long time ago when I first started this channel. But news, something that just came out. The new health secretary, Robert F. Kennedy Jr., said that something has gone very, very wrong. And what he's referring to is the health of people in America, he said, is far worse than every other country in the world. The infertility rates are down low, you know, like things like autism, obesity, sicknesses, everything is much higher in the United States than virtually anywhere. To include third world countries, basically, when you're compiling all the health statistics together. Very, very startling, actually. So, thought I would put that out. And he said he's going to get to the bottom of it and find out why. A lot of people are talking about all the chemicals in the foods, and that the Food and Drug Administration, I would say, is complicit. You know, you got a lot of big corporations. They pay a lot of money, you know, to get things overlooked. You know, things they put in food. And of course, a lot of the food, some of it's even over here, to be honest with you. In a lot of countries I've been to, you got American products with the chemicals and all that in the GMO, who knows what. GMO, how long has that been put into food? I don't know, maybe 10, 15 years? I don't have any idea. By the way, that is a kind of a little shopping mall. Mostly it is a big food store, big supermarket, Corona. I believe it is Dutch. At least it used to be Dutch. I don't know. You never know who pulled out and who didn't pull out. By the way, there's a KFC over there. I wonder if there's one inside of there too. Burger King. Yeah, there used to be a really good restaurant. I think Burger King took over that. Oh, that was some fabulous food there. Some people were saying that was the best restaurant in Minsk, at least for the price. Everything considered, the best food. It was really good. I've been there myself, so I could even attest to that. And you go there now, Burger King has it, you know, and yeah, the place was even nice, not even really crowded or nothing. Okay, so we can get into some news. Oh, maybe first I'll mention there's a few subscribers. One guy said something like I'm pro-war or something, and then luckily one of the subscribers wrote, you know, in one way or something. It's like, what? How am I pro? I mean, it's incredible. It's, in other words, it's actually, that guy's probably pro-war. You know, you have that little thing they call projection, and it's very possible. You know, you get these people, and they're actually working for, you could say the deep state, but they're working for, like, a lot of time, these countries or whatever that are putting out all this BS. And you know that, for example, Israel, they hire thousands of people to do nothing but go online and delete and go after people that say anything bad about Israel on there. So, and you know they get a lot of money from the United States, as you all know that. It's at least 4 billion? I'm trying to think trillions. I'm getting all mixed up now with all this money that's been passing out and going all over the place. But I think it is, I think they get a guaranteed 4 billion every year. Plus they get billions in other ways. And of course, Joe Biden, or maybe that was Trump even. I think Trump sent a huge amount, big money's worth of huge bombs, these Moab bombs, mother of all bombs, I think they call it Moab. And makes you wonder, well, where is Israel going to use those? And of course they use really powerful bombs in residential areas, you know, against Palestinians that no country ever uses, ever in residential areas, but Israel uses those, just so you all know. And for all the good things that Trump is doing, it's really strange that he is like supporting Israel. I don't understand that. Oh, by the way, temperatures. Temperature right now, I believe, is like -10. It was strange. I got up this morning very early. I think it was even before 4 o'clock. Yeah, sure, I get up early. And it was like -6. I said, oh, okay, it's not going to be so bad. And as the morning draws near, I was thinking, oh, it's going to probably get warmer. Sun starts to come out. But I kept watching the temperature, and it's like going down another degrees, and then another degrees, and another degrees. It was just incredible. Oh, by the way, look at this. Merry Christmas, everybody. Flower shop. As a matter of fact, flowers time. Ooh, I don't know. There's supposed to be some really good. Guess what are these? I can't tell. These are Christmas trees still here. Anybody want a Christmas tree? It's a little bit late. It says theater coffees. I don't know. Got some interesting things out here. See, I'm showing you Minsk, not just only talking about news. Look at that. Is that some kind of an ancient? Look at that. That's incredible. It's like an ancient exercise machine, I would guess. Speedometer? Fascinating. I should go inside there. Maybe it's something worth seeing. My hands are freezing too. Damn. I think strangely enough, I'm arriving at a different metro stop. Wasn't even that far from the other one. But let's get going on the news here, because you guys actually turned in here to see the news. I was reading about an interview, and this was a former like assistant ambassador or something of Ukraine in the United States. And he was saying some pretty amazing things. He was talking even about the deep state and Soros and the Clintons and lots of things like that. But I'll get to the part about it. He has a theory that that he's talking about, like Zelensky is still, he was a puppet of the deep state, and apparently, I think his theory is that Zelensky does not want to let go. He's probably not realizing, it's just like a lot of the leaders in the EU, that Trump has actually, it's too much noise here, I hope you guys can hear me. Trump has actually he's defanged the deep state. He's taken their fangs out, He was planning on cleaning up the swamp when he was first president. And he didn't do that. Matter of fact, he even employed a couple of the swamp people. Maybe he had a different theory. Maybe he wanted to do things a little bit differently. What did they say? Stay away from your enemies. No. Something like keeping your enemies close to you. So that you. I don't know. I don't know. Whatever that saying is? In some cases, maybe it does make sense. I don't know. But keep your enemies close, I guess. I'm trying to figure out where in the hell am I? This big, huge building here, and I'm almost positive there is a metro stop by here. Let me go through here. It's a little bit warmer. My fingers are freezing. I'll tell you what, it feels a lot colder than -9 or 10 or whatever the heck it is. Okay, but this guy's name was Andrei. My eyes are even all wet because of the cold. Telesenko. Andrei Telesenko. Fairly young guy, dark hair. I think he had a beard. Obviously, he's not in Ukraine because he probably wouldn't be in Ukraine. Well, he would be in Ukraine. He'd be probably 6 feet underground if he was talking the way he was doing. But he was saying that Zelensky, of course, has not woken up. And also, the former closest advisor to Zelensky, who was Arestovich, he is, I don't know, he's hearing that Zelensky's more than likely on his way out, and he wants to be there instead. And he said the first thing he's going to do is put Mr. Z in prison. Kind of shady looking guys. You don't see that many like that in Belarus. looks like there's shops here. Some people are waiting, and some of them are opening up over there. It's a lot of times things open up at 10 o'clock in Belarus for some reason. I don't know why. I'm an early day person, and I like to get things done early, not meant. This is really strange. Where am I? Some kind of a tunnels underground here. Trying to get across the street and all that. I thought it would be warmer. Well, it is warmer here, but it's dark, so you guys can't see me too well. And I can't read my notes because it's too dark. So let me get out of here and let my fingers freeze off as I get out there. And my nose is running. As long as I can find my way back. Okay, it's a little bit lighter here. But as you all know, Elon Musk was talking about there were some assassination attempts on his life as well. Oh, now I know where I'm at. This matter of fact, I'll tell you what, I'm going to walk to a different metro stop. It's just quite a ways. I don't have that much news to put out, but I can walk. Okay. Mostly what I wanted to say about this person and what he had to say about Zelensky is that, you know, and a lot of you already probably know this, but these people were put there to include Zelensky, of course. There was a lot of money getting passed out, and apparently Soros obviously knows how to use that money and how to put people into positions. And he was, of course, using Victoria Nuland, as we all know, and they were in Kiev, and that's how they put Poroshenko in. And apparently Zelensky as well. I don't know if Zelensky was originally where he's supposed to be at, because he seemed like he wanted to get along with the Russians when he was running, and I think that's what got him elected. Maybe it was a ploy. You never know. You never know with these people. Or it's very possible maybe he really did feel that way, and Zelensky was won over. And you know, there are different ways how they win people over, and I might have said it before. You know, they offer you a whole bunch of money, and what they say, you play along. Zelensky is known, his personality is very well known for being the right person to take advantage of what I'm going to say. So you get offered a lot of money, and if you don't take the money, or you don't want to do as you're told to do, then you suffer consequences. And a lot of time they kill family members and things. They do something to your family. We know where your daughter goes to school. You know, oh, that teacher of hers is very nice. Too bad she didn't get the grade that she wanted on that test yesterday. Things like that. You know, they know a lot, and they have a lot of connections. And you guys know, I mean, it's like in movies, and of course a lot of that stuff unfortunately really is true. And they have ways to manipulate you. And that's possibly the threat of what they did to Zelensky. A lot of people have been won over that way. I mean, even who was his name? The guy that had that show, he used to be a wrestler. He was the governor of Minnesota. That's what they told him too. When he became governor, what is his name? He was a former Navy SEAL, and then he was a wrestler. He became well known in, you know, being a wrestler in show business, and then he became the governor. And he said as soon as he became governor, you know, they have, and who else said this? Somebody just said this recently. You know, they have these guys that come up to you in these suits, and they say, well, now that you won, so here's what we're going to have you do. So, you know, basically, this is what you have to do. You know, you won the election, but we are the ones that run things. And obviously, you don't do what they say. I don't know. I'll tell you what, I don't know how Trump is resisting all of this stuff. I really don't know. But apparently, he's going against the grain. And they tried to, you know, probably because they tried to kill him beforehand. He knows what's actually in store. He's got a big family, though. Maybe he's got the money. Maybe he's got the means to protect these people. I don't know. But as I'm telling you right now, you might he's a high-profile person, you know, and if somebody in his family is knocked off, you will know how that happened. You know what it's all about. So, who knows what the press is going to say if something like this happens? You know, they're going to still try to get rid of Donald Trump, and that's probably the way they're going to do it. You know, this is, I have to say, I really believe that this is how it is. I don't think that they, you know, almost killed him and they said, oh, how we did that on purpose. We almost killed you. So now you do what we tell you. We show you how easy it is for us to do this. But I doubt it. I doubt it. It doesn't seem to be working that way. Because they would have left Zelensky in there and played the game and acted like he's stupid. So anyway, let's keep going here. So I already mentioned about Israel. You know, that's a separate deal. It's very strange. You know, you have the deep state, and then they have this money allocated, you know, for doing a lot of things. And somehow Israel is on a different tab. And people have said that in the government. You know, they've alluded to the fact, but I don't really understand how it is and how that works that way. You know, I already mentioned in a couple of videos that I was thinking that somehow Soros was putting the money into doing a lot of these dastardly deeds, but now with this USAID scandal, it turns out that he was getting the money from USAID, and he's in some little bit more like dire straits right now because he was using that money. He wasn't using his own money, you know. So in other words, Donald Trump actually is draining the swamp, which is amazing. I'm going to walk over towards that building. I actually want to go the other direction, but I'm thinking, well, maybe traffic won't be so loud. Maybe I'll go up the street. Some guy's doing some work on the street. I didn't want to go past them, but let's do this anyway, okay? Okay. You guys all know that Zelensky's trying to say that, you know, it's just further evidence of the deep state. He's trying to hang on, and he's trying to show, look at how influential I am, and look at how I can run a psyop on the entire earth. So he's saying that Donald Trump he's trying to imply that Donald Trump is dumb, and he's the victim of Russian disinformation, you know. And in truth, he's probably on truth trying to say all of this stuff that we've been seeing, Ukraine killing all these civilians and bombing all these years. I mean, it goes, how far does it go back? It goes like 10 years. 10 years Ukraine has been killing civilians, bombing the Donbass and all that, and now in Kursk, all of this stuff. I mean, a lot of horrendous things are going on. And then, of course, Zelensky came up with maybe one that was too big, and of course now he hasn't been able to cover with it about the these, what do you call it, these invisible North Korean soldiers. Oh, the North Koreans, this, what, 17,000 or whatever North Korean soldiers out there, and 17,000, and they're invisible. I mean, I'll tell you what, it's really, really something that North Korea has this ability. You know, I think they were watching Star Trek, and maybe I might have missed it, but maybe on Star Trek they put out the formula for how to make a cloaking device. You know about the cloaking device, you can make things invisible. The Klingons had that, you know. You know the Klingons? You know, but the Klingons, they didn't have that cloaking device when they used, I won't say that, you know what the joke is about Klingons, you know, when you go to the toilet and stuff like that, but I can't say that probably on YouTube. So, oh boy. And this diplomat, he was also inferring, let me get past this noisy truck. He was inferring that the relationship with Trump and Zelensky really hasn't been that good. And he was citing what happened in Trump's first term. And he said it was in 2019 that Trump was asking Zelensky to do an investigation on the Biden family crimes in Ukraine, and to give him some of this, or else, what would happen is that Donald Trump could get this information and release it. How he got the information, how they can play around with this kind of stuff to not make Zelensky look bad. And of course, Zelensky didn't do that. And that's all the more an indication that Zelensky works for the deep state, because Biden is the deep state. And the one thing I was just talking about is like Israel being on some kind of a separate ledger or whatever for maybe the deep state or whoever. And some kind of electric car here, probably Chinese. No, a Nissan. Okay, kind of dirty, but anyway, being like on some kind of a separate ledger. But Blinken, his father is an Israeli, and Blinken is very loyal to Israel, maybe more so than to the United States. I don't know. Maybe that stuff was well hidden. I'm just guessing. But so it kind of makes you wonder, well, there crosses over there as well. I don't know. I didn't see Blinken really working overtime for Israel. Obviously, everybody in the government, if you do not support Israel, your chances in politics are your time is going to be very short. Some people are saying that Ilhan Omar is now going to be deported from the country. I don't know about that. Sometimes you see this crap on I don't know. Maybe I don't know where I saw that. Some vlogger putting it out. I really don't know. So it may not be the case at all. So now Trump has been coming out. There's some kind of a thing that Zelensky has now apologized to Trump. I don't think that's true. But Trump has now come out and said that I saw two pieces of information. He said that Zelensky is not important, and he is not going to be at those meetings. And I guess Trump did say this. He really did say this. He said Zelensky's not going to be there, and neither is the European Union. He said he doesn't need anybody that does not support ending the war. And even like I said just yesterday in my video, these people, they want the war. They want the war to keep going. And Donald Trump even said it. It's a gravy train. They all get a lot of money. A lot of people have been saying this. Wait till this video goes by. A lot of people have been saying this. A gravy train. And that's how these people all work. And a lot of in government. Well, I can't say all. Donald Trump doesn't. And it's odd that Donald Trump has hired people that really don't seem to be interested in making money on spilling the useless eaters' blood. By useless eaters, I mean you and I. Yeah. Oh, I think I've been in this shop before. I remember walking around this corner, and really interesting things in there too. But I'll spare you. I was going to get something for somebody for a birthday present. I'll maybe walk by the window. Some red light. That guy walked. Normally you don't do that in Belarus. So, but I think I'm going to do it too if nobody is around here. Look at this. 2 or 3 people here. Some lady. Car's coming. Have to wait till that car. Okay, what else here? So nobody's going to be there. He said it's just going to be Putin and himself. But it's probably not going to be Putin. It'll probably just be Lavrov, and maybe he'll give the instructions to Marco Rubio. And Tulsi Gabbard said something about Marco Rubio. This is before she was chosen. But she said that Marco Rubio was not the guy to be put in that position. I don't know. I don't think so either. But it makes you wonder if Marco Rubio is going to... Maybe he has seen the light. Maybe he realizes that Donald Trump maybe has defanged the deep state. Maybe he is going to be working for the deep state. But it doesn't mean that there's going to be any kind of a deal that's not going to be acceptable to Donald Trump. So, and he's going to have other people looking at the papers. So there was some things in there. I think it was something that was carved from wood that I liked before. And then, and there's another place right down here. I remember now. It is a bar, and they brew their own beer. There's some of those in Minsk as well. I've come to maybe, well, there's there's businesses around, and there might be, I don't know, 20, 30 of those places inside of Minsk that have, their craft beer. And I think this is one of them. Let's see if it is still there, where that person is doing whatever they're doing out there on the sidewalk. Is where it was at, I believe. Okay, let's keep going here on the news here. So that's really strange. I was going to say how Zelensky, just a couple of weeks ago, he was saying that he is basically the guarantor of the security of Europe. And all that the West has to do is keep sending him money. Send him money and he will spill the blood of all of the people in his country. He will, essentially fight to the last Ukrainian. We'll all die for the security of Europe as long as I get a lot of money. That's basically what Zelensky was saying. I mean, you can't deny that that's what he was saying, because that's exactly how it is working out. He'll send everybody there. Snap people up off the streets, millions. How many millions? There are more people that left the country now because they've seen the light than have even died there because they want to get their butts out of that place. This was not the place, I don't think. Maybe this was the place with the beer. I think I remember a door going right in. Yeah, this looks like it. Is this some, I don't know. My fingers are frozen, people. I almost have to go inside there just for that purpose. Let's see. Maybe I can walk in and look. I hate it when places are closed. But let's see. I don't know. It looks kind of like a place that serves beer, doesn't it? Maybe they're closed for now. Maybe they're closed for the winter. I have no idea. Supermarket over there. I got to get someplace. I think here's a metro. I'm gonna go down here to get my fingers warmed up. If y'all don't mind. Hope it's not gonna be too dark. I'm almost done anyway. Okay. Let's see. Oh, guess what? This is some big news here. That's really funny. Annalena Bareback is warning. She's warning Donald Trump. Basically, she's threatening Donald Trump. Queen 360 degrees Bareback. Everybody's really scared. She's telling Trump. Let me see. What was he telling Trump? The exact words. That his failing to back liberal democracies, the same like democracies that if they don't like the election, they cancel the election. The same democracy, the same place that Annalena Baerbock comes from, the place where the AFD got the majority of the votes, and so the other parties joined together to block it, so that they can form a coalition, so that the AFD cannot rule. That's their democracy. That's the will of the people will be crushed. Will be crushed. That's what they call democracy, I guess, now in the West. Same thing as in France. Same thing as in Austria. Same thing as in Romania. The people are getting pretty pissed off about their leaders going to war. I guess that's the deep state. I guess that's the deep state doing that. It shows you the reach of the deep state. Like I always say, they got a testicle. They got a tentacle in every pie. They got these tentacles. They got tentacles everywhere. But hey, even if I slip the tongue there, they eat kidney pie in the UK. Oh, just kidding, making my jokes here. Okay. What else? Yeah, Baerbock. I guess everybody should be really scared, because their view of the democracy. Obviously she's giving Trump a veiled threat, but we have to hope that Trump has defanged the deep state. Some used to call it a shadow government, but some say that there is a difference and there still is a shadow government. I don't know. Some people know how to say this stuff. how to define where the shadow government is and where the deep state is. I don't know. I should try to, if I have more time, I would be doing more research and listening to this stuff, because it is kind of fascinating. Yeah, but I guess she's angry that Trump is defying her country, which is Ukraine. She gave that one speech once, and she said it in English, and she said she didn't care about the German voters. And this was all in reference to Ukraine. It was like probably sending money and weapons and things to Ukraine, and it actually is showing that she cares much more about Ukraine than she does about Germany. So, and obviously Bareback is not elected. She's not an elected person, And Trump has been saying that Zelensky's a dictator, that he is not elected because his mandate ran out. It's going to be a year in a few months where he should have been out of office and he should have held elections. And somebody was writing something, oh, well, the UK, they didn't hold elections either in World War II. Well, guess what? They did. So that was somebody putting out some kind of fake news. Yes, they did have an election during World War II. So, Bank, if you see that up there. I think that is a Latvian bank. And there used to be some sort of a deal whereby you could transfer money to Belarus, but it turned out that that's not really true during these sanction times. But now there's some evidence that they're supposed to be lifting the sanctions very soon. At least the United States will, not necessarily Europe. I don't really have a bank account overseas anymore anyway. Seeing how Europe and the deep state has been acting, I got most everything out of there. Trump was having a talk with a reporter, and he was mentioning, that Ukraine had these beautiful cities, these, beautiful, beautiful cities, and now they're all destroyed. And the reporter said, but it's Putin's fault. Don't you agree? Putin said, I'm tired of hearing this. And I'll tell you that. That's what he said. Then the reporter said, isn't Putin to blame? And Trump then started just ignoring him. So he just didn't answer. So you got to think about, Trump, like, well, how come he can't see that? How come he can't see that it's Putin's fault? That Putin invaded. He just got up one day and invaded. And Putin, has been the victim of a lot of this Western Russia, as he says already, and that's why Trump said, "I'm tired of hearing this," So you think he's going to fall for it? I'll tell you what. This is one stop, and I can even walk to another one, which would be Nyamiga. And I was going to go to a shopping mall and walk through there because I was going to. At one time I said I was going to show you guys some shopping malls and walk through. And it's the same shopping mall that the Scottish guy from Moscow walked through. So I was thinking, do I want to do that or not? Anyway, but I didn't. Oh, by the way, this is another, I think that's Bareback. And that actually, I think their seat is in Austria. If you see Raiffeisen Bank in Austria, Austrian bank, they have it in Germany too, Raiffeisen, and that is Bareback is the branch, the same bank I believe, in Russia, and I think there was ways to transfer money through that bank. I think it was very little at a time or whatever, but you have to use the bank machines, or I don't really understand what it is. Oh, there's a Fielman over there, German place to get glasses. I don't know if it still was for Fielman or not. Oh, and the other day I walked past a mural, and I told you that there was another one somewhere. Just so happens that I'm here. You see that mural far across the street? I should get closer, but I won't. Anyhow, if you guys can get a closer look, maybe you can zoom in on it, I don't know. But it must be the sister mural of the other one that I showed you in about 3 or 4 videos ago. If you're like murals. If you guys remember Bald and Bankrupt, that went all around places and doing some things, whatever, in Belarus, and he liked murals, so he would go to various places to see the murals, and I'm sure he's probably shown that one. He might have shown the one on Partizansky Platz, I don't know. Maybe he didn't even know about that one, but now you do. Okay. So, what else do I have? I'm almost over here, so bear with me. Let's see, I talked about that. I mentioned that Trump or Elon Musk is going to audit Fort Knox and to see if the gold is there for the most part. And I hear that Donald Trump says that he wants to go. So he said, I'm going to go with you on this one. And if you guys remember, there is a way to fool people. When you, for example, you can sell gold bars that's not gold bars. Tungsten, they call it tungsten in English, and in German it's called Wolfram, and it's a metal, and it has a very, very, very similar molecular weight as gold. Some say it's the same molecular weight. So you can coat this with gold, and then you go by the size and the weight, and it appears to be gold, but it's not gold. It's just has a galvanized coating of gold over the top of it. And I've done galvanizing myself. I don't know if you guys know how that is. It's done in like a electro, with an electrical current, and you put it in a fluid, and you use gold on one side, and then it travels, through this fluid, and it galvanizing, if you know what I mean, and it collects on top of the tungsten bar. So I hope they're going to go in there, and when they can take about, maybe out of a pallet, you can take about 20 of them and saw them open and make sure that they are solid gold and they're not coated tungsten. I hope that's what they're going to do, but you never know. Maybe there's not going to be any gold there in the first place. A lot of you never know what the deep state and all these people. I'll tell you what, as you guys all know, they're just a whole bunch of just criminals. Most of it led through the United States. They've been stealing people's money in the not in the billions, in the trillions of dollars. And where most of it is all at, nobody knows. Maybe they disappeared with the Korean soldiers. I have no idea. But that's about all I wanted to say right now. And I thank you guys for joining me. And like I said, there's a lot of new supporters, maybe 20. I hope this wasn't boring for you. And when things get warmer, I'm going to be going around Belarus a little bit more. I hope. Depends on what my situation will be. I don't know if I'll be working or what at that time, or I'm hoping I will be. Because I've been playing hooky from school lately, and I think I'm going to be going back, learning Russian. I think I'm going to go back next week. And I might switch to a different class, because the one class I was in, very strange, because the teacher is very, very good, and he goes really fast. And so a lot of the people that either couldn't keep up, didn't want to keep up, didn't want to do homework, whatever, they pretty much all dropped out. And there was one gal from China, and she was in there, and she was like a similar level as I was, because a lot of these people, they've had more exposure with Russian that are in there now. So all the people that are actually had more exposure, knew Russian better, they stayed in, and the ones of us that had less training, were struggling to keep up. And he's doing it all in Russian. He speaks much more quickly and all that. So I wasn't getting that much really out of the class, and I could get more maybe in some other way. But unfortunately, in that school, they don't really have any classes that are speaking. Even it's the Minsk Linguistic University, but they're just teaching you grammar. And there's so many people, a lot of people that do vlogs out there, and the advice of most people is that this grammar is not going to help you that much. But of course it does help you. I mean, I'm not going to go that far. You are better off with some grammar, but in this case of these classes, they don't really teach you much about speaking. And then when you're in a classroom with a bunch of people, I don't know, what is there, maybe 12 of them or so, and they are all more fluent in Russian than I am. Even if some of them make a lot of mistakes, they make more mistakes than I do when you do the grammar tests, believe it or not, a lot of them. But they are very, very fluent, and they can read very well, and because they've maybe been speaking it for many years, and it's like I'm sitting and I'm not getting talked to that much because, you know, you can't, I wasn't trained to actually be speaking the Russian, and these people had been speaking it for quite some time, so, you know, that was bad. And the Chinese girl, she was actually a little bit worse than I was. And some people actually, they live in a town in Turkey that is very much Russian, even though they are Turkish and they live in a Turkish town. All the signs and everything in the shops, they're in Russian and in Turkish. So, and a lot of the people speak Russian throughout that whole town, or the area that he is from. So he is speaking Russian, and then he would be a person who would be closer to my level then. And then there are people that have been here and they've taken many, many classes for years in Russian somewhere else, and then here I'm in like this class, and they can, you know, be talking with the teacher. So I wasn't getting that much because the teacher is teaching based on the same level of most all the students. And so me and the Chinese girl, but she's going back to China. She's already gone back to China just a few days ago. So I would be stuck there on my own, and the only people that are coming in there are people that speak quite a bit of Russian. So it's not that level of a class as what I was thinking it was. All the people that were either less proficient than I was or about the same, they've all left the class, all of them, and it's completely different people than when I started this class. So I'm just letting you guys know. So that's why playing it hooky, it's not like I'm that dumb. So okay, that's it. I'll end 42 minutes. Wait, maybe, yeah, 42 minutes. And I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll see you on the next one. Just giving you a rundown on how it is, like maybe learning Russian over here. And I'll tell you, if some of you new people out there, if you have the chance, learn Russian over in the West. It's much cheaper. Classes in Moscow and Minsk, they cost more than learning Russian in the Western countries. Strangely enough, that's how that is. Okay, thanks for joining me. I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.